Uh, no intro today. No jazz hands. No rhyming. No nothing. We just start on time because it's better we start early, finish early, and move on with our days. Ms.
Yo,
Brother, welcome back. Tell the people what you just told me before we started because we talk. Obviously, I know match going fans have. Well, they're sick to their stomachs. That was disgusting. Had to pay for that. Some people got overcharged for that.
mm,
Yeah.
Some people got ripped off for that, having to go and watch that, feel that pain for the third time in a row. I went to the last few finals. I decided to leave that one alone. Probably a good
mm.
decision. What about you, international fan? How was that?
Well, I was just telling live chat. I was just telling Matisse, Younes just rocked up. I'm nearly 1.5 hours away from being 24 hours awake. Um, so
Wow.
the time frame when the final was on, that's the worst for an internet. Well, especially for people who live in Australia or New Zealand or more this side of the world. So yeah, that 3 p.m. start is 2 a.m. for me, but then all of us really start streaming hour and a half before kickoff. So yeah, I'm about 1.5 hours away from being 24 hours awake because after the match, because it's a Monday, it's work day. If it was a weekend, I would have just slept it off.
Mm.
So I had to go to work, go
I
through all of the work,
couldn't imagine
come
going to work
home,
straight
spend
after
time with
that.
the kids. So yeah, like you guys would have at least tried to sleep it off. I've not been able to sleep nothing off. So
Oh my god.
yeah.
I couldn't imagine trying to go to work after that. I would have been too rattled. Eunice, brother, how are you? Well, I'm not even gonna ask how you are. Just welcome back.
Cheers, mate. Literally, I woke up this morning sounding like Barry White, and I honestly did not get over one bit of yesterday. I've slept, right? Same with Matisse. Like Miz, you've not slept. I just came in and I didn't hear about like what you said. I've only heard this for the first time, like everyone else has heard it. So yeah, I would prefer to sleep,
Mm.
but let me tell you, just in case you're hoping you could have slept, it's not changed one thing. So don't worry. Don't
I
worry.
saw your video. Your voice was gone,
Yeah,
Eunice. You
yeah.
couldn't speak. Like, that was the
No, you
first
know
time I
what?
saw you couldn't.
It,
There was a lot I felt you wanted to say, but your throat was like, Eunice,
bro,
not today.
I already
You've
had a
said
sore throat.
enough.
Like I already had a sore throat, and then the game itself just made me just stress everything and strain everything. So, yeah, I'm telling you, when I woke up this morning, it was Barry White. Like I was literally like, hey, like it was properly. But that was the only humor I've had in the last 24 hours.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't.
Everything
I
else
don't.
is an absolute joke.
Yeah, I'm just so embarrassed, bro, brothers.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed.
I'm so embarrassed that you can be shit in the league. We can be bottle jobs in the finals. We can spend 1 billion, go through managers, rip out the culture of the club, replace it with an entire new squad that is unrecognizable and that we have to obviously grow to love. And some of them I do, but just embarrassed, absolutely embarrassed. We knew that there would be narratives wrote after this game if we lost.
Mm.
But as I think you both articulated, you can't lose in a worse manner than that. I would have preferred to have played Liverpool's strongest team and just lost, because at least then I would have known they're the better team, we're the worst team, they're top of the league, we're mid-table, business resumes, we move. But for us to go, and maybe I'll leave the first 90, even though I think we should have won this game in normal time. If we're a competent, coherent team, we put away a chance like a normal fucking team and we win the game in normal time. And no problem, because Liverpool actually had a decent 11. It wasn't a shocking 11. They've got two of the best centre-backs on the planet. Bradley's a really good defender. Robertson's a really good defender. McAllister I've always rated. Diaz really gave us absolute runaround on that left-hand side. Gakpo was paid for. So, you know, not scrubs by any means, but more pressure on us. As we spoke, you know, before Younes and Miz, I think I missed your call. By that time, I was already shitting myself in underpants. But in the last 35 minutes, the last 5 minutes of full time, and then obviously the extra time, we were playing against players that played in the PL2, in the Premier League 2. They played against under 21s of Stoke a couple of weeks ago. McConnell, Dan, Clark, all these guys, they were playing in the league that we have Washington playing in, who can't make our bench. That's the magnitude. And we're bringing on £100 million worth of potential, £100 million worth of investment. And this board have decided to go in the most extremist, most drastic manner and buy a bunch of unproven, untried, untested people. Not sprinkle a few, completely litter the squad with them. And it showed in that entire, if that performance didn't have as much irony as you could possibly imagine. You've got a centre-back in Van Dijk who is world-class, a leader, and he won that game for Liverpool on his own. I've never seen a centre-back win a game for his club on his own. That's basically what he did. He scored 2 goals. One of them, obviously, given off because of Endo for the blockage, whatever. He defended like an absolute leader of men. But he was a leader of boys. He was a leader of children. The kids that cost nothing and created their own mini little Melwood Academy photo at the end with the trophy. The same shit we created with the Champions League win.
Champions League. Yeah.
How ironic. How fucking ironic. It's absolutely incredible that a team that has no leadership, no backbone, nobody to guide these players from their loose touches, from their head loss, from their slips, from their errors in the 90 minutes before we even get to extra time, before we get to this manager. How ironic that the guy that wins it for Liverpool is the guy that is we are screaming out for a guy like that. We are screaming out for a guy like that. People are talking about narratives. I'll give you a narrative. Oh, Liverpool, right? The guy that scored the goal was 75 million. Why is nobody talking about? Because his price is irrelevant, because he's worth it. Because he's worth it.
Yeah.
He is worth 75 million, not fucking Mudryk. That's what 75 million is. Now, I know there's been a bit of inflation. I know we're in a bit of a recession, but fuck me. I was listening to Rich and Sad, Post Malone, all of last night. That's what we are. Rich and fucking sad. It's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. There's no other way to put it than to lose a cup final in that manner. And you don't even pepper the second choice goalkeeper in extra time because you're too busy pissing around for penalties. Are you taking a piss? The audacity to come out publicly and say you were waiting for penalties because you were tired. Liverpool played against Luton in midweek. We had no game. What do you mean you're tired? We didn't have a midweek game. We had the whole week to prepare for this. They pressed their fucking lungs out for the entire 90 minutes, pressing us into mistakes after mistakes after mistakes. And they're the ones that are still putting in the energy in the extra time. We're tired. With the squad depth that we had in comparison to theirs, we're tired. Because most of their players play PL2 football at a lower intensity. And we're tired. After they're playing in 4 competitions all season. And we're fucking tired. Are you trying to make a mug of me? Are you trying to take the piss out of me? I have never been so embarrassed and ashamed to be following this club as I was yesterday. I slapped that chair down about 5 times. I went out to get some food from the local, and I touched my Air Forces, and there's blood on them. My girl's like, "What's blood doing on your Air Force?" I said, "I don't know what's going on." She looked at my hand. I got blood on my hand, bruv. I'm fuming. I got expressions ringing down my phone. I got Thabz ringing down my phone, calling us bottlers. Tottenham fans are calling us bottlers, and they're correct. Because no team has lost 6 finals in a row at Wembley. No team has lost 6 finals, 7 including the Community Shield, 3 in a row to Liverpool. No, sorry, 4, because I'm counting the Super Cup. I'm sorry. I must let you man speak because I've spoken enough, man. I'm sorry.
You know what you've mentioned there, on top of the fact, because I've seen this morning some, I guess I was just trying to maybe have a little damage limitation. I'm not buying one bit of it, man. Trying to talk about, despite Liverpool's kids coming on, their average age was still higher than ours, right? Okay.
Oh my God.
We spent $1 billion on these children. Like, listen, I'm not going to blame the players for the lack of ability that some of them have, right? That's who they are. But we were crazy enough to spend that much money to bring them in. And we got done in a cup final where Liverpool do have those couple of players like Van Dijk. That is the leadership and quality that you need in a team to get you over the line. But setting the example to the kids that haven't cost them a penny, because all of them have come from Melwood. And those players came on and still done a job. And those players were involved in the squad that beat Luton 4-1 in midweek, where we didn't have a game. You're absolutely correct. Listen, if we were playing, right, 2 or 3 games a week, we would have to bury most of our squad at Brompton Cemetery. We'd be having funerals every week. Players wouldn't survive. So I don't understand this. Again, damage limitation. People don't want to face the reality, or they're trying to maybe just an excuse against the rival fans to maybe feel a bit better or something. I understand it. But at the end of the day, look, we were embarrassed. We're absolutely embarrassed. And it's what's the word? It's an example.
It's a disgrace, as Drogba would say.
No, you know what? No, what I'm saying, what we saw yesterday was an accumulation of the insanity that this strategy has been from the get-go at this football club. From the moment that we've started 18 months ago with this new direction. This is what it's come to, where we spent this much money. We have, you could say, an extremely youthful squad. They've got players like Van Dijk and Endo to balance it out when we're talking average age. They bring on those kids in extra time. Then we back off and we don't want to play in a cup final where we already know our history of penalties. So why take that risk if you know that they are actually there for the taking? If they're playing kids that play PL2, well, now's the time. Go for it. But this is just, again, I can't stress how many flipping layers at this football club is just, it's incredible how badly run things are at every level. And it's not even just mentality. I'm not even going to just put it down to that. I genuinely think we've got a quality problem here as well. There are some players that we've brought in, I'm sorry, they're just not going to operate at the highest level. They're just, it's as simple as that. And some maybe don't have the mentality, some don't have the quality. We've got a manager that probably doesn't have both, and we've got a club that doesn't know how to run. It's just the whole thing is mad, and we needed yesterday. We absolutely needed it. And the fact that we didn't, in the circumstances that we didn't, has made it 100 times worse. This is the worst way we could have possibly lost that final. And now, when's the next time we're going to be at Wembley? We might not be there for a while.
Championship final.
Younes and Matisse, do you guys believe in a particular notion where, say you have a figurehead, right? Let's say us three, okay? We have a particular manager or a boss or whatever, you know what I mean? If that boss is robust, if that boss is charismatic, if that boss is confident, oozing in confidence, how do you think us three would operate under that management? Would we be shaky going into work? Would we be, jittery? Would we be nervous? Or would we look at our manager, our boss, our leader and go, look how robust that person is. The confidence is just, getting into me. It's contagious. How would it work? Like, tell me, like, if you see a gaffer that is timid, that is a little bit nervous, that is a little bit scared and has this attitude of deflecting, never being, never speaking his mind properly. How would us three behave in that if we were being led by someone like that?
To build on your point, I would look to my co-workers, because I know now my boss is on a madness. So I'd look to my co-workers, right? So building off your point, I'd look to Benjamin Chilwell fighting against teenagers.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgraceful. As a captain, you are fighting against teenagers because that's what you believe that leadership really is. No, it's not. That's not leadership. Let me tell you right now. That's not captain material. Let me tell you right now. I'd look to Raheem Sterling. Been there, done it, experience. Absolute stinker. Highs and lows, inconsistencies again.
He wasn't even in the game.
Up against a teenager at fullback. Barely saw the ball. And then I'd look around and I'd say, okay, so I've got no experienced co-workers. My boss hasn't got the minerals, hasn't got the vitamins. All right, then. But then I'm screwed. Then
So
I'm actually screwed.
the point that I'm trying to make here is we can sit here, and obviously we've talked about owners, we've talked about the board. I see a lot of people want to talk about, oh, but your players are so rubbish. Enzo's bad, Caicedo's bad. Of course, they all dropped a stinker, every single one of them. But when every single one of them are dropping stinkers, this is not an issue about individuals anymore. This is an issue that is so dark and deep in this football club now. Yeah. It's a disease. It needs some form of antidote. It needs a cleansing. It really needs people to sit down in that organization like a day-to-day and just go, guys, I think we need to purify ourselves because it's dark now. It don't matter about your talent anymore, because you lot have talent, but it's not even about the talent anymore. It's about, I can't believe the amount of times yesterday where there was no Liverpool players and we were coughing up the ball. There was no players around them and the ball was getting coughed up.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that is not normal. That is you scared. That is you nervous. That is you confused. That is you, whatever you prepared for during the week, you've come to the stage and you've now had a stage fright. Or you don't know, or you didn't anticipate how the enemy was going to attack you. How could you not anticipate what Liverpool were going to do to you? And then the game plan, it looked like you wanted to play basketball with Liverpool. That's the exact game that they love. They want to play back and forth. They love chaos. How you didn't at that time try and slow the thing down a little bit. Play the passes, play the boring passes.
They couldn't keep the ball.
They couldn't string three passes, Matisse.
Every time we passed out to Gusto, the ball went under his feet and out for a throw-in. Sassy's got heavy touch. Colwell's got heavy touch. Caicedo's turning it over. Bro, everybody.
But Matisse, are these players like this though? Are they like that?
But this is why we go back to. I'm gonna go all the way to the directors, because when you put together a squad, with nobody with any know-how and any, when you walk into a room, act like you've been there. I said it on my watch along. Yeah. If you walk into
I saw your video. You said that.
If you walk into a room and there's a bunch of celebrities, aka Wembley Stadium, the bright lights, top players have performed there, the Drogbas, the Lampards, the Terrys, the Czechs, act like you've been there, right? Don't get starstruck. Don't start taking photos. Don't start
selfies.
asking for signatures, asking for autographs. Act like you've been there, because you're going to scare them away. You're going to scare away the celebrities. You're going to scare away. You're going to get frightened under the lights. The occasion's going to get to you. But we can't act, brother. This is reality. Reality is they have leaders, and then even when they put the kid on, loads of kids, it didn't matter because they still had a few leaders on there to guide them. Van Dijk won that game for them. The kids for Liverpool were fantastic. They went in with a confidence. They went in with an aura. They went in with a commitment. But they had backbone. We, on the other side, are asking ourselves, I wonder if Thiago Silva could have played a part in this game. We are comparing a player in his prime, leading his team, to a title race to depending on a 39-year-old that should be at home with his wife, chilling with his children, retired. That's our prime. That's our experience versus their experience. That's what we're complaining about. Like we didn't just get slapped up 4-1 at Anfield. What?
This is the thing, innit? We gutted everything from head to toe to start off with. At the very beginning, before we even thought about going down this route of bringing in all these players that are expensive and unproven, we gutted every single little bit of the club from head to toe out. And I always go back to that point as the turning point. That was the key. That was the moment where everything started to head south, man. And this, after, it's actually incredible, right? That after having spent $1 billion, we are talking about lack of experience, no striker, players that aren't up for the occasion, or they're getting stage fright, can't manage to play against an opposition that have half the team coming from their academy. Like, come on, man. But we ain't got a striker. Did I mention that? It's just the whole thing is crazy to be able to do that and spend $1 billion. This is why I've also said this is the worst way we could have possibly lost, because we're being bantered with that point added on top as the cherry on the cake. Like, people can call us Spursy, we can call ourselves Spursy, but Spurs never spent $1 billion to end up Spursy.
Yeah, I saw Thabz reply to a tweet.
Yeah, and you know what? I can't deny that. Like, I compared and I said Spursy based on the bottling factor. We bottled yesterday, and that's a very Spursy attribute, but correctly so. They didn't have to go and spend $1 billion to end up in that situation and end up mid-table 2 seasons in a row. You know? Like we said, if we played against full-strength Liverpool and it went all away and, you know, it is what it is, then cool. Fair enough. 1-0, fine. But we really didn't. We really didn't. And then at the end of the game where you should have the capacity to be able to get the advantage, which was on a plate, to take on this Liverpool team, we done nothing. It's a testament. It's a testament, as you've said, of, for me, the direction of this club and the director specifically. Listen, we're going to end up going in circles, like at this point, and heading into next season. We're going to end up going and flipping circles. I don't want to go in circles. There needs to be action on these directors now. End of story.
Because who are they going to appoint after this manager?
Thank you. We can all talk Poch, and I agree. Poch is not the guy. And yesterday, as far as I'm concerned, I've already said, look, Poch needs to go. But yesterday was the signature on the flipping on the paper, on the sheet. I can't forgive hearing what he'd said yesterday.
I can't take the post-match quotes, bro.
That was taking the.
You may as well just stab me in the chest.
Talking about how he's actually based that decision off the team wanting penalties is just unforgivable. I'm sorry, mate. Like, this. I don't think even Crystal Palace would accept that. So there's that, and I understand Poch isn't up to it, and he's not the right guy. But my concern is we get rid of Poch, and with these people who we currently have, they're just going to get someone in who could actually end up being worse than Poch. I can't trust them to run a bath. So if we're getting rid of Poch, 100%, but those two need to go as well. End of story. And if we don't, we're going in circles.
But you know what, Younes? Just quickly before Matisse, you go on. You know what, Younes? Of course, the sporting directors, but I'll go a step further. I don't know if you saw the recent tweets just before the match, how apparently the owners want to see Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley go from being good directors to great directors. So they're banking on sporting directors as a potential as well, much like how you would do with the players.
Where did you get this quote from?
There was a quote.
Surely this, brother, please tell me this doesn't exist.
No, 100%. Check out Chelsea Dodgers or PYS. Our owners want to see Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley go from good directors to great directors. You're gambling with directors as well. You think you're going to be able to flip them for pure profit too? What are you tapped in the head?
Yeah.
So this is what I mean. Like, it goes even a step. Look,
bro.
When we had Roman, right? When we had Roman, that guy was a gangster. He was the Don. He was the Godfather. you hear the stories from Johnny Mikel. Helicopters coming. Yeah, someone's neck's about to get chopped today.
Yep.
No messing around. Someone's dying today. Get ready for the funeral. It all starts from the standard starts from the figurehead on top, how they behave. Then it trickles down. We probably have Mickey Mouse owners to start off with. We don't know too much about them. They don't really come and talk to Chelsea fans or do interviews for Chelsea. We don't really know too much about them. But what I gather is I don't think they have too much of a character. They're not a fearful character.
No.
Yeah, these players, John Obi Mikel, I remember him saying in his podcast, they would get scared when they see Roman come down because they knew something's about to go down bad today.
Yeah, but these brothers came down so often in the first season that it's kind of lost its effect already.
It's lost its effect. They're like, we don't care about them. It starts from them to the sporting directors, and then it's just
I agree.
We're fucked.
I tweeted before the show because facts. Today is about facts. Everywhere I go, it's about facts. Narratives will be run on multiple shows today. I know that. But I'm only here to speak on facts. Pre-Roman, 1997 to 2003, we never finished outside of the top six. Listen to that stat again, because I know rivals like to say, "Oh, you wasn't around for pre-Roman." Brother, unless you wanted me to be conceived earlier, yes, it is literally impossible for me to see shit like this. Let me say it again. From 1997 to 2003, Chelsea never finished outside of the top six.
Yeah.
They finished third, they finished fourth, they finished fifth, they finished sixth, never outside of the top six.
And we won cups, just to let you know.
Of course.
Yeah.
And we beat Real Madrid.
Middlesbrough. Real Madrid, we beat them. Yeah.
And those players would have won yesterday.
Oh, yes. You think those players would have lost a final in the last 30 minutes against children?
No.
Now, the average age. I see Chelsea fans talking about the average age is higher. I love a bit of shamelessness as much as the next person, but please have some self-respect. Our players have cost so much more than theirs. Our players are getting into combined 11s before kickoff. Comments. How could he not have made it? How could he not have made it? How could you let this happen? What? So then don't try and flip the script and talk to me about Bob and Clark and Dylan and Bill and Ben. Who are these people?
Yeah, who are they, bro?
Who are these people?
Did you just make that up?
Who are these people, bro? Who are these people that beat us?
I swear, I didn't know who that Dan's guy was, bro. I was like, who is this guy, Dan's?
He was moving well as well. Fair play to him.
Jurgen Klopp got to a situation. He's like, do you know what? I'm gonna just take a mick out of them now.
Man took off Konate. I don't even think he had to take off Konate. He took off Konate and brought on Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa's had a good season, but he took off Konate and said, "I'm resting my centre back for the FA Cup." Do you know what? I was so deeply entrenched in the bullshit that when we brought on Chalobah, I was like, oh, "Okay, right, we're bringing on a centre back to help us defend set pieces." Not remembering that regardless, we're not going to be able to defend against Van Dijk because I'm seeing Mudryk, I'm seeing Gallagher, I'm seeing throughout the game players marking players that they cannot compete with.
Bro,
they
I was fuming. Chilwell on Van Dijk. Enzo on Konate. What the?
And then on top of that, this is where the psychological side gets even more fucked. Why are we bringing on defenders anyway? Why are we bringing on a centre back for a left back when we should be attacking? When we should be suffocating them? We should be attacking them. Why are we making defensive changes against McConnell?
But you know what? It backs Poch's point post-match. They were going for the penalties. Apparently, they came into a consensus. Him and the players will take it to the. How could you? How could you even allow that conversation? Look, let's be honest. The entire match, predominantly, we got dominated. We only played the final 20 minutes of the second half, right? And we were going on top. We were getting some really good chances. We were getting on top. When extra time started, I think each of us probably thought, okay, they're probably tiring. We've got a lot of legs still in us. We've got players from the bench. It's time to take the proceeding. It's time to take charge in this match and finish this off. It was the complete opposite in the extra time. But I was so, before even all of these substitutions happened, I'd already lost my mind that what am I seeing in this extra time? Where did all that ascendancy go that we finished the second half with? Because it really should have been that same theme over and over again. But no, it was Klopp just threw all of these kids, and the kids were showing
more composure than us.
More composure, more attack, more know-how. It was as if they've seen their bigger brothers perform in this stage, and they're like, "We know, we've seen this film before, but we're going to replay."
But imagine when you train on a day-to-day basis, bro.
Yeah,
you train with Salah.
Exactly.
Right? When you're on the bench, sitting there waiting to come on because you know your responsibility, you know you're coming on to impact the game, and your manager dubbing you up, patting you on the back.
You're G'd.
Is Klopp.
Yeah.
When the man sitting in the tracksuits that aren't coming on, Salah sitting there saying, "Brother, go do your thing.
Yeah, carry us. Carry the big brothers.
We know you got this."
Yeah.
So who's sitting behind us?
Who? Tom Bowley. And
I saw a new guy in the bench named G. Who's G, bro?
Oh,
Who's
that
G?
was Billy G. So Billy Gilmore, now Billy G. You understand?
I had no idea who that guy was, bro.
We couldn't. We can no longer due to regulations. We can no longer afford the rest of the letters. Just Billy G.
Billy G.
Yeah. They play in the same position. They play in the same position, but it's just Billy G.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
They play the same.
Midfield. He's a centre mid from the academy.
Why do you think we could not bring on a midfielder for the umpteenth time in a row? Caicedo, Enzo, Gallagher. If anybody in there has a bad game, gets booked, we have nobody to bring on. It's Billy Gee. It's Matisse, who's now on loan in the championship.
No, we had
but he's not there anymore, obviously.
Look, we had Gilchrist, we had Billy G. I call him Billy G. And
Billy G.
Jimmy Torianen. So look, we had our own academy boys to turn to.
Yeah, but
it's actually quite ironic, isn't it? In a team that it's actually quite ironic. In a team where we are all about youth, not one player comes through from Cobham in order to get onto the pitch, but we're playing all the ones that we paid 70 and 80 million for, and beyond, and 100 and 200 and a billion and double trillion and all these flipping numbers. But Liverpool can turn to their Melwood lot and just completely over dominate us and power us. Yeah.
Oh,
standard.
There's so many layers to the embarrassment. It's beyond belief. That is such a good point. A team built on youth and potential can't turn to their academy in a final. They can. Not one, not 2, 3, 4 academy players they can bring on. That costs nothing. But we can't turn to ours. Mad. Absolutely insane.
Do you understand, like, as you said, the amount of layers that it doesn't make sense at this club, bruv. It's just, we are so far in the mud. People don't actually understand. It's so bad.
I think Younes, a lot of starting to clock though. Like I've seriously started to clock that. I don't think we're gonna win a silverware anytime soon. You know, like that's not a far-fetched theory to look into.
You don't think we can win the Premier League series in pre-season?
Oh, that is silver, I suppose.
I don't think we'll be
you said silverware, bro.
anymore.
You didn't specify. I've got knives and forks in the kitchen. You didn't specify. You got to specify, brother.
I don't know if we're actually doing the summer series.
Maybe we got relegated from it. I don't know.
Yeah,
exactly.
Apparently, we're not doing the summer series, so there goes our chance of a silverware. But yeah, man, I'm not. Honestly, I'm just thinking we could potentially be entering the dark ages now. Like, I'm not even kidding. This could be 3, 4, 5 before you know a decade has gone by, and we are just, we're just irrelevant. We've become irrelevant. I'm pretty sure all of us will start, and I know a lot of you guys already started talking about other clubs. I'm going to have to start doing that as well. You're going to become irrelevant. No one's going to want to know what Chelsea's doing, bro, because it's irrelevant.
We might have to just start doing, Newcastle versus Everton watch-alongs. Like, might have to start looking at that because this is this is getting long.
Honestly, like, put it this way, Younes. What's a club that was sort of doing well and then became irrelevant?
Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest. Yeah. Good example. Very, very good example, right?
Leeds,
they were Leeds more recently, but Nottingham Forest. Let's look at Nottingham Forest. They were
two-time Champions League winners.
They were effing good.
2 stars.
Right? Do you
2 in a row.
Do you think anyone does watch along for Nottingham Forest now?
Mate, when they went down, we didn't see them up until when they just got promoted recently. We haven't seen them for years.
So this thing is not too far-fetched, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Leicester, another one. That's a good one.
Leicester, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And they'll probably get back up, but they're in the Championship. They went down.
Everton's actually a good shout as well. Everton used to be like in and around the top sort of 5, 6.
Yeah. And it doesn't even have to necessarily be clubs that have won, like, because we're not in that bracket now, are we? We are actually mid-table. So it's actually not far-fetched to start talking about how a mid-table team eventually finds themselves far-fetched. Okay. There's this tendency that people think, no, it's impossible. Yeah, maybe for now. But if this keeps going, this is why, like, I stress there has to be urgency on the situation. If there's no urgency and people just let it happen, it's going to be too late.
But do you know what? There's no excuse now because those two, Ed Bally and Todd Bowie, who really has become pretty irrelevant now, but he's back because he was in the stadium. They got to witness that. And that, if anything, it may actually be a good thing that they got to witness that. And they didn't witness a papering over the cracks of us getting a last-minute winner against that team that we didn't play too well against in extra time, or winning on penalties, lifting trophies and thinking what you're doing is currently acceptable. If anything,
do you really think they learned something?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. But that's why in my what did I put in my title of my video? I put something like the final something. Let me just check because it was meant to be a double meaning there. The final wake up call. The final wake up call. It was a final. That's your final wake up call. 1 + 1 = 2. You've witnessed what you've watched. You've seen what you've seen. It can't get any more damning than that for directors, for manager, for players, for everybody. That is your moment to make a change. And I'm not even talking about, like you've said, sacking him, because the manager market starts in the summer. We all know that. I'm not interested in Super Frankie Lampard coming in again and giving me his documentary afterwards or his interview afterwards on a Diary of a CEO. I'm not interested. I'm done. Yeah. Leave this man here to do what he's doing. Leave these, even if you want to leave these directors, but you have to bring in a world-class director to oversee these directors until the end of the season. You have to bring in a world-class director to oversee this manager until the end of the season. So at least then we know in the summer when decisions have to be made and can be made and change can be done, serious, then someone of experience at the top level who's been there and done it at other clubs can make that decision. Not Ed Bally making that decision, not Todd Bowie making that decision, not Win Stanley making that decision from Brighton and Derby, not Lawrence Stewart making that decision from Monaco. A top world-class director who's been there at top clubs and understands what it means to compete at this level is making that decision. That is the only person that should be making that decision. And that person is currently not in the club. And that's the biggest problem. The fact that that person is not at the club right now. That person needs to be brought in before it's too late. Because if these directors make another bad decision, because they're still developing,
it's a wrap.
Then what the hell happens next?
And do you know what, Matisse? Do you know what? Just to top that off even more, once again, another tweet just before the match. Our owners, they operate in hypotheticals. Their thought process is this Chelsea squad and the manager hypothetically should be 5th. This was one of the tweets. I don't know if Younes, you saw that. they were saying that this team should currently be 5th based on all the other underlying metrics and whatnot. And so overall, they're happy. They're happy because hypothetically, it should be 5th. I was baffled. The thing is, you can use all your hypotheses. The truth of the matter is we're 11th. You can sit there and say, but we should be 5th. You should be, could be, would be. You're 11th. That's the fact. The fact is you're 11th. So I think one of the biggest factors our owners are having problems with is they're not very in tune with the reality. They're in an airy-fairy like world where they're talking in data, talking in hypothesis, talking in theory. Brother, get back into reality, please. The reality shows otherwise.
2 seasons in a row.
They're trying to fool the fans to think it's not as bad as it seems because we really should be 5th.
Yeah.
First of all, let me tell you something. 5th is not good enough either. Like, don't make me now settle for 5th. Like, it's 5th used to be a disaster season. Now
The only
5th is
The only time
the
you're allowed to be deluded about being mid-table is that one time we finished 10th under Roman, where we won the league before and we won the league after.
After, yeah.
You can be deluded in that season because we just won the league. So something's wrong. And then we won the league after. And we had players in their prime, Fabregas, Matic, Hazard. So you can be confused. You can be confused. Diego Costa, Courtois, Cahill. You can be confused. Aspilicueta. That you can be deluded there. There's no reason to be deluded right now. There's no need to be confused. It is consistent. It is a very constant running theme right now that we are mid. We are mediocrity. It's not something that you have to get your brain wrapped around. It's not something that you have to go to the stat man and calculate and carry the one and fractions. It's very obvious. Watch the game and that's that. Just watch. Just open your eyes and actually watch us get bopped. 2 PL2 players who, by the way, have never played at Wembley. McConnell, Clark, Dans. They've never played at Wembley. Bradley.
They barely even played.
Kwanzaa.
End of.
Yeah, end of.
Like,
speaking of, you know what I'm saying?
We've had first team players, that we've had since the start of the season, you could argue. Some of them out with injury have come back. They're bringing on players that haven't even played much for Liverpool. Full stop.
Yeah.
It says everything, bruv. You're completely right.
Do you know what? Obviously, we touched base on. There's a particular player that I want to talk about, and I want to see what you guys have to say in the live chat as well. Obviously, we talked about youth and young players of Liverpool. Endo is someone I laughed at. I really did when I saw Fabrizio Romano tweet that Endo to Liverpool. Here we go.
So did a lot of Liverpool fans.
I laughed. I had no idea who this guy was. Let me tell you something. When I was watching yesterday's match, bro, he was on something else, bro. He was on something else.
Yeah.
Bro, he was ripping through the midfield. He was robust. He was energetic. He was pressing. He was passing. And it made me think, let's forget the youth for a second. How's this guy just seamlessly come in and doing well? And we have these quality midfielders who have done well elsewhere. They come to Chelsea and they crumble.
How old's Endo?
30, I think.
31.
Yeah.
Why did they bring him in?
Captain of Stuttgart, wasn't he?
I think so.
I believe.
Being captain, yeah.
Or was he the captain of his national team?
To bring in someone that they can rely on as a backup in times of need, like yesterday, someone that's been around the block a couple of times. Not someone
Japan
that hasn't even started running.
I think he's a big player for Japan as well. Like he's Japan international.
Oh, for sure. You can't play like that and not be. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable performance.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, I see people picking this moment from the
Captain
match.
of Japan, by the way. Captain of Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
That's
surprise.
no joke, bro. That's no
No
joke.
surprise, because that Japan team's very good. I know they didn't have a great showing at the Asia Cup, but they've got talent in that team. So I see people like trying to find one moment where we lost the game. Doesn't exist.
No.
Gallagher's shot. No. You can go to Enzo, back heel.
Oh, wow.
I don't even know what that
What
was.
was that?
I don't know what that was.
Cole Palmer as well. I think he missed one right in
Or
front.
Palmer. This is not a time for favorites. When you really give a shit, when you really give a damn, I promise you, this is not a time for who's your favorite player and which one don't you like. So let's lump on that one. I promise you now, this ain't the time. I couldn't give two shiny shits which player you believe cost us the game. The truth is, the entire 11 and backroom staff and manager and deeper, the board and the directors, everybody is culpable for what happened on that pitch, because the levels of irony and the layers is just too much of a coincidence. It's too much for you not to take in. We've already discussed it. We've gone through it. There's too much going on for you to not take that in. This is not a day for old Gallagher. If you just no, everybody out there played their part in us not winning that game.
There's a reason why we did end up missing what we missed, and why we fluffed what we fluffed, and why we made the mistakes that we made, why we're misplacing passes, why we look like we can't even move like at certain times during the game. There's a reason on all of these different things. It goes back to the point of, are these players that we've brought in even good enough? Or do they even have the mental capacity to play at the highest level? It's one or the other, or on top of that, being led by someone who just does not have a grip whatsoever. And you go back to was the recruitment correct in the first place? Who have we brought in and spent this money on? Are they actually able to compete, whether it's on a quality level or a mental level, at the top level? They're just not. We have fluffed it, and we've thrown $1 billion out the window.
And to put even more dirt on what you just said, Younes, you think, okay, where now? Where do we go now? And what did we see just before the match from Fabrizio Romano yesterday? Linked with Sesko. So this plan is not changing, ladies and gentlemen.
What are the rumors that we've heard this morning? Have you seen the managerial stuff?
I've not. Oh, Thomas Frank. Yeah. Thomas Frank.
You must be joking. Again, you must be joking.
No joke.
I've not been on Twitter. I've not been.
But you know what? Listen, it's going to be De Zerbi.
Yeah, it's all set up for Brighton setup.
We are in love with everything that Brighton stands for. We want to be them. We want to change our lion to a seagull. We want to go and live at the end of the M23.
We want to change our lion to a seagull.
By the beach. we want to do all of this, right? We're going to change the stadium name from Stamford Bridge. They've got the Amex. I don't know. We'll change it to Barclays or Halifax, or we'll change it to some sort of other bank.
MasterCard.
You know what I mean? Because we're going to try and be like them. Or we'll do MasterCard Stadium or the Visa Stadium. Or I don't know. It's a flipping. It's the whole thing is a sham. It's a joke.
Like, the fact that in January, and I know obviously maybe the wages were a big concern and whatnot, but the fact that we heard in January that Chelsea don't prefer Benzema and they prefer John Duran.
And people wonder why we are where we are, why we saw what we saw yesterday.
Younes, our board and our owners saw Benzema's picture and they saw John Duran's picture. And they go, yeah, I prefer this bad boy here, John Duran.
Can you imagine?
He did strike a ball nice in one Aston Villa game. That comp was just the same goal just being replayed over and over again.
For 30 seconds.
But did you see who was at the ground yesterday as well? It came out after the game, but I was just like, it adds more banter on all the banter. Tony Bloom was there wearing a red tie, bruv. We gave this brother 250 million and he comes in a red tie.
Why is Tony Bloom there?
To take the mick out of us. And it worked.
Wow.
It worked.
Wow. That's a disgrace, you know.
I feel ashamed.
Get the Brighton owner to witness our downfall right in front of everyone's eye.
This is why I was like, this is the worst possible way we could have lost yesterday, man. And it sums the entire football club up. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. Absolutely embarrassed, man. It hurt.
I've heard a lot of in the last couple of days, people from outside perspectives on Chelsea trying to preach patience on Pochettino. And listen, I would love to spearhead such an army, but this guy, I'm sorry, this is his season, and that's that. It's very obvious and very clear that regardless of what I thought he was going to bring to the table in terms of developing players, in terms of seemingly bringing energy into this team, improving the fitness levels as well, which was something that he was meant to be known for, even though we've played one game a week and we're absolutely bollocksed after 70 minutes. I don't understand. Up here, not even tactically, because tactically, I mean, we've seen enough this season, right? But up here, no, not up there. You are complicit at this point, which is exactly what these people want you to be. But I cannot, in good faith, back anyone who is then going to be complicit with the bullshit that they see going on around them. You can't, and it goes all the way back to the January window even. You call bro your Harry Kane regen, and then you let him go out on loan. You're fine with no replacement. Am I a dickhead? And now you have Jackson on left wing. Jackson is coming off maybe in this game, who I thought tried to compete with those centre-backs. You've got no striker to put on. We know Nkunku cannot play up front. How many times do we need to be told? Nkunku is not a striker.
And do you know what, Matisse? Now Nkunku is starting to look a bit weird as well. Like,
of course, confidence will be in the bin.
All the journalists not that long ago, Fabrizio Romano leading the journalist army.
Yeah.
When Nkunku comes back, he is the key. He's the key.
Yeah.
He's the key.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the key that Chelsea's never put into the door, and then every lock will just turn.
Yeah.
Mate.
Yeah.
What happened?
But imagine then the savior of the football club, who's never kicked a ball for us, by the way, in a competitive game prior to that absolute bombardment of news. Imagine playing him in his wrong position. So all of this was to bring him back to play in his wrong position, to hold up the ball against 2 6-foot+ centre-backs that are absolutely beasts. Yeah? This is what we were waiting for. Must be a joke.
He was never going to be the savior. He was,
and they've run out. And you know what's beautiful?
We all said that. We all said that.
But we all knew that.
Cannot be a savior.
But we all knew that. But imagine. Do you know what's so funny about this now? The irony. They've run out of briefs. Before we go to the super chats, they've run out of briefs. There's no briefing now. What can you brief?
Nothing.
I haven't seen this morning Victor Osimhen links, because that was the next one. The future Drogba will save us. We're going to put down the money.
I think Victor Osimhen must have told the journalists. No. Victor Osimhen must have told all the journalists, don't link me with this. You guys are bottlers. Don't link me with this.
I thought him and Drogba were friends. I thought Mikel was going to bring him. I thought Mikel was going to pay his agent fees and his wages and his transfer fee, and was going to extend it to 9 years amortization so we could bring in this big name striker. Why am I not seeing any Osimhen links?
Mikel and Drogba, they realized they could get the same agent fees from PSG as well, so they're going there now. It's all about the money.
So you mean to tell me that qualifying for Europe is important?
It's importante.
Who would have thought? You mean to tell me there'll be competition for his signature and we can't afford? Who would have thought? Where's the briefings now?
Start doing tactical analysis
now
on
I'm hearing Sesko. I said 2 weeks ago under an Alex Goldberg tweet, and you can go and search my name and type in Matisse with Sesko on Twitter. I said, you can forget this Osimhen shit because we're gonna go for Sesko. I said it. Release clause, young, easy deal to do. Isn't
Low
playing regularly.
wages.
Is not playing regularly at RB Leipzig. That deal will get done. More likely that will get done.
Yeah.
That
Low
will get done
wages. Low
before
wages as
Oscar,
well.
and low wages.
Yeah.
Not someone that wants 250k or 300k or can demand it. Somebody that is on nothing.
Yep.
Somebody that's in the Red Bull model that they love. Reality.
Exactly.
Not Drogba, Mikel podcasts, Nigeria. No. Yeah. No. Reality, motherfuckers. Reality. Yeah? Because I've had enough. I've been calling this shit for months. This in particular. We are not signing nobody of any ilk in this position unless they are tapped in the head and they are not watching us and they are not understanding the position we're on. You would have to be absolutely ludicrous and idiotic to sign for us in this summer. You would, if you are a player at the top of the game and you are signing for us after watching this season, there's something wrong with you. You're coming here for the wrong reasons. You must be coming here. I don't even know what for. Can't be money because we don't even pay you like that. So what is
Matisse,
it?
Do you remember Eden Hazard? I don't know if you saw that podcast recently, and John and Mikel. Eden Hazard didn't even think about Chelsea Football Club. The only reason why Eden Hazard thought about Chelsea Football Club was because Didier Drogba scored that goal.
Yeah.
In the Champions League, and that's what triggered him to make that move to Chelsea. Yeah. So, to all the people that believe that players don't think like that, you best believe they do.
Of course they do.
You best believe they do. No one wants to come to play for Chelsea being 10th. It's not attractive.
It's not just all money, because you go here or you go there, you're getting paid. I might as well make the best decision for my career at the same time. That way I could end up at a Real Madrid in the future if I want to get there, or I could at the same time I can leverage that and get more money. It's basic, it's logical. But at the same time, Matisse, you just mentioned a really good point. We amortized how many players?
All of them.
A lot.
And how long are they here for now?
8, 9 years, 2 years down.
7 years on their contract,
6, 7 years left, yeah.
Yeah, good luck. They're not going anywhere anytime soon, are they?
No, but you know what, Younes? You know how all these people are like so G'd up recently, seeing Enzo Fernandez going this, doing this. I'm staying. I don't know where these rumors are coming. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about Enzo Fernandez. He did that with Benfica as well. If Enzo Fernandez keeps seeing this mediocrity over and over again, he ain't doing this anymore. He's telling his agent, "Get me out of here."
What did his agent say? Or was it his agent? I think it was his agent, where he mentioned that this is a 3-year plan.
Yeah. So next year will be the third one.
Next year will be the third. Yeah. And what? We're making Champions League next year, yeah?
Well, we're getting points deduction, by the way. We
might have to deal with FFP. So at that point, I wouldn't blame Enzo. I would actually, for Enzo, I'd be like, listen, mate, you want to get out? I'll open the door for you, mate. Go save yourself. Save yourself.
Bro, he'd want to play Champions League. Bro, he was playing Champions League under Benfica.
Of course. But who's going to come in? This is the thing. A team would have to come in and buy and then negotiate, and then we'll probably still end up somehow making some sort of profit on the books, because that's what this flipping club is about. Of course. But book value will end up in the green. Yeah, but these players, you best believe they're all going to be wanting out. Reece James is another one, 100%. Real Madrid come knocking, see you later, Reece.
Bro, Reece is seeing all of this on the sideline.
Exactly.
He's probably thinking, man, I don't even want to be captain. There's no point in being captain of this team. You know what I mean? He can't even be in the pitch. He's barely even in the field.
None of these guys, unfortunately, are captain material. None of these guys are ready to be captain. They've all been either pushed into this position because they speak English, or because we don't have anybody else. Yeah.
Matisse, do you remember what I said a long time ago? Communications manager? They're not captains. They're communications manager. Mate. Department of Communication.
It's incredible, bro. A club like Chelsea Football Club, bro. I'm not even just talking Chelsea. The highest level, Premier League football, right? The top of the top of world football. We are delegating captains based on their English requirements.
Well, do we go to their GCSE grades, English literature, and see what they scored in and then rank them like that?
We might have to. I think we might have to.
Oh, listen, Connor got an A in GCSE English. Ben Chilwell got an A star. Got to give it to him.
Yeah.
Reese,
To
what
be
did you
fair,
get? Like, what the what's this?
Silva, what'd you get? Me no English.
Me no comprende.
Me no English. Me no understand. Well, he ain't gonna be captain. That's for sure.
You guys know that those Shakespeare's, it's not easy to study those poems. Yeah, you know how difficult it is. It ain't easy, right? And give some credit. Let's fly through some super chats. I'd love to even go into more depth and continue to drag our entire institution, but I have to unfortunately be cooked elsewhere. So we're going to just go through the super chats. Thank you for becoming a new member.
I'm guessing you're used to it by now, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not going to say anything. I'm just gonna wait for the cooking to end and then I'll speak my piece. But
Big Six tonight as well, huh?
Yeah, more than you can believe. Yeah. More than you can believe.
Yeah. More than you can believe.
I want the players to imagine Klopp crying. The opposite happened. Guess Miss didn't see the other side of the coin. And Ma, from now on, stay in your lane. Okay. Okay.
I don't even understand that. What? Well, I missed.
You must have said something to offend this man in the pre-match. I don't know.
About wanting Klopp to cry. You said you wanted like us to make Klopp cry.
Oh, brother, allow it, bro.
Matt,
he did cry. He did cry with joy.
Matt, you doing streams all day? Just got to drop the kids off to school, and I'll be following you all day. I've now organized my YouTube channel in such a wonderful way for the people. If you go onto the homepage, you will see what I'm a part of, right? And you will see where I'm at, what I'm recently on. You can go there. Big Six, there's a list, the latest episodes, DR Sports, latest episodes, etc., etc. Formula One, when I fleed the sport and I've left football for good, latest episodes. It's right there. Look at the playlists. Everything's there. I've organized the thing for you lot. Because when I'm ducking from this channel, you know where I'm at. Okay, so it's easy to see. You go to the homepage now, you'll see DR Sports kicking off 12:30. We will be there. Okay, no problem. It's very easy to navigate now.
He's amortizing his appearances now.
Yeah, we must.
Spreading it around.
Yeah, we must. Website is coming soon too. We must. I would rather fall on our sword and go out go out all for the win than play for pens. We played like we were down to 9 men. We have lost our identity, says Ahmed.
Bro, can I just mention on that point? It's crazy how many non-Chelsea fans are all on the same page saying the same thing, and it's clear as day. All going, listen, Chelsea have no identity. We don't know who they are anymore, bro. They don't know who they are anymore. Everyone's singing off the same hymn sheet that are from outside of the club. But when it comes internally, we want to flood out tons of excuses. When it's obvious, it's clear as day. So just bear that in mind, because everyone else has eyes and they can see what's going on too. And they're in a non-biased situation where they can just say it for what it is, but they're all saying the same thing. And that's a key thing there. We have absolutely lost our identity beyond belief.
And do you know how you just said, Younes, that the oppositions are saying that, right? The reason why they're saying that is we were so distinct as a football club for the past 20 years. It was just so obvious for everyone to see how great we were. Yeah. So it's evident for everyone, not just us. Like, it's evident for every single, opposition fans out there that, wow, you guys have lost your entire identity. When they're saying that, yeah, you can imagine how deep it is for us if that's how it looks from the outside. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Poch out. The appointments across all departures are mediocre. Yes, men's. There is no winning culture. Signing 20-year-olds for 100 million, for hundreds of millions, instead of proper 20-goal a season striker is a disgrace. I remember in extra time 2-3 times, so much space. Gallagher, Enzo, Madueke, Jackson. It's disgusted me. These players have no fucking instinct of what to do. Liverpool fans laughing on our faces. Disgusted, says Sean Deitch. My head is in Jupiter. I was fighting air particles after the match. We lost to Liverpool under 12s. Everyone can go. I don't give a fuck. Much appreciated. Just flying through these guys. Apologies. I don't want to be late to my cooking. A recruitment structure of Brighton plus toxic positive fan base like Arsenal plus being led by specialists in failure equals relegation. I won't read that last part, but yeah, wow. Velen is not a happy man. Is anyone in the hierarchy hurting as much as us? Says Ahmed.
Nah,
Not a chance.
they're having a good meal.
It's impossible. It's actually impossible for them to hurt as much as us because we are here before and after, as always. You know, we're here before, after, managers, players, board. So, you know, it's impossible.
You lot need to understand, for our owners, Chelsea are a 4 billion asset of a, what is it? 60 billion portfolio?
Yeah.
What percentage is 4 of 60?
My head is on
Just
Jupiter.
under 10, just under
112?
10%. Just under 10%.
Yeah, just under
8%
10%.
perhaps. I don't know. Yeah.
Grizz
it
will
means
be so
nothing.
annoying on Big Six.
It means nothing.
Yeah, you think Grizz is gonna be annoying? You should watch Alex in about an hour and a half. I swear, if Robert dares to come at you on the Big Six, I love Robert. I love Robert, but Lord, yeah, I can't live my life just tolerating the situation. I appreciate the therapy sessions, but when are we protesting so they can bring in a top DOF like United? Me and Younes have spoken on this protesting thing before. I'm here to give you reality, not false hope.
Listen, it needs to come online. I think like things like this are what people can do, but it needs to come from the match-going fans. It has to come from within the ground. It has to come from the bridge. It's as simple as that. In the same way it was prior to the Aston Villa game, and then kind of during the Aston Villa game until we scored, whilst our fans were singing Roman Abramovich. It's pretty ironic. It's the intensity and the pressure is going to come from the match-going fan. So,
do you guys think you let Kante and Jorginho leave a season early? Achievers for players, especially Enzo and Caicedo, to look up to as well. I won't bring up Kante because he wouldn't be playing for us in this season. With the way our medical situation has been going on, Kante would be sitting next to James in the stands. Jorginho,
he's not been injured.
Yeah, I know, but he's not at Chelsea. He's not at Chelsea. So, yeah. But in terms of Jorginho, yeah, brought leadership, really good characteristics, traits. But I mean, yeah, but you know, he was running out of contract, so we would have had to have signed him to a new deal. But yeah, listen, it is what it is. Do you guys want to bring in Big Mo? Oh, Mourinho. Oh, I can't be asked to even talk about that right now. Can't lie. We'll discuss that another day. Because again, we've spoken about directors. Guess who they're not bringing in? Mourinho. So yeah, no point talking about it. I'm off to support Madrid. Can't take it anymore. There's NBA hires. That's actually mad. This is so embarrassing. When will it end? Either way, up the Chelsea from across the pond. Much appreciated, brother Carlos. Much appreciated. Dear Clear Lake, sell all of these bums. Keep Palmer only. Bring in world-class sporting director, top-tier scouts, and restart the project. You idiots. You can't do that. Unfortunately, you know when you spend $1 billion on players, you can't just restart. It doesn't work like that.
This is where we exactly
the money is not there, brother, for that. I understand your pain as an Arsenal fan. Sometimes you just got to accept you're in banter era and accept it. I did. Israel. I mean, I don't really want to accept it, but I hear what you're saying. Will I become numb to it? Hopefully not. But you know, give me another 3 years, maybe. Regardless, the order should be the directors first, Poch second, Enzo doing back hills in a cup final says it all. We're playing with kids that play like kids. Couldn't believe that, honestly. It's actually quite incredible. He wasn't even set to do the back hill with any power or any precision. Man just was acting on vibes. Something beautifully poetic about how things have panned out so far, considering how much smack they spoke about how this club was not well run. Of course, things weren't perfect under Roman, but wowzers.
Fact.
Yeah. I mean, listen. A lot of those games in that run of 6 final defeats obviously came under Roman, but this is a whole new level of this is a whole different level of madness. You know, at least then we were competitive. You know, we had the right mindset to win. We may not have applied it in the correct way in terms of the scouting, in terms of Marino, in terms of the recruitment and the big money signings, but at least the intention was there. The mindset was there. The application, the delivery was starting to fall off, but the mindset was always the same. So you knew with a couple of tweaks behind the scenes, you know, fresh faces, new people, that the mindset is the same. So now we can deliver with the mind power, with the power in the head. But now the mindset is not there. So that's a deep problem that we've discussed. But we're gonna wrap up because I gotta go. And yeah, I want to keep this short for the playback because the people will want to watch this back. So yeah, it's a madness. But Miz, let the people know where to find you, brother. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, bro, it's been a definite pleasure. The other side of the coin. Yeah, we'll see what's popping today. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some crazy quotes that might be coming out, some briefs that might be coming out. So I'm sure we'll be dissecting that. And then obviously now leading up to the Leeds game. By the way, apparently Leeds are unbeaten in 2024.
Yeah.
Bro, yes.
So,
I've seen their record. It's mad. They've beaten Leicester home and away as well. They just beat Leicester.
And I've been seeing some of their highlights. They got some good players there, bro. Somerville, Nonto.
Same players that were playing in the league. In the Premier League.
I'm speaking to a Leeds fan tomorrow. I'll be able to get the lowdown on everything that's going on. But this is gonna be fun.
So
out of
maybe
28 or how many games have they played? 35 games or something. They've played like around there. They've lost 6.
Yeah. Okay, so L coming. Another
and
L.
They're second behind Leicester, who they've beaten home and away. So
this is a good match. Maybe too much of a match for us. Yeah.
Oh, and it's Leeds. The heritage and the history between Chelsea and Leeds in the cup goes way back, which our club wouldn't understand. So
yeah, Todd Bowley, he won't know what's the history and all that behind that.
No, so Leeds will.
Younes, let them know where to find you, brother. It's been a pleasure. Long day.
Younes Talks Football. I'm gonna dissect a little bit more later on. I'm sure, like Miz has just said, there's gonna be things that come out later. 100%. But I've not actually discussed like what we heard yesterday and the ramifications of that and where we're heading. So I'm going to go into a bit of detail later on with a video, and then tomorrow is preview for Chelsea versus Leeds. So
surely you're not doing that, bro. Surely at this point, Younes, you're not doing any more previews. Brother, stop it, bro. I'm stopping doing it.
No, if we were in the championship, I would still do the previews. I can't lie. We have to be.
As he says, we will be there.
Some of us have to be consistent. Do you know what I mean? And at this club, bro, do you know what I mean?
We will be there. It won't be a normal preview, but it will be a preview. So
yeah,
we will be there. Yeah, don't worry. Things will be said.
Well, there you are. I feel for you, mad, truly. But when you're on the Big Six later, we will be there. Just know I'll be coming for you and Saeed and Thabz equally. Yeah, brother, I much appreciate it. Saeed's trying to shamelessly run from the cooking. I just want to let you know. He thinks that he's going to get away with that disgusting performance against Fulham at home. So yeah,
no chance.
And Flex also believes he's running from the cooking as well on DR. So just if you don't mind, once you're done with me, make sure that they understand as well that they're in absolute shambles of a football club as well, because we can't let this run. All right. Till next time. In a bit, people. Peace.